Growing up, I lived in a few different types of areas because my family is originally from Ohio. When I lived in Ohio, I lived in the suburbs and then moved down to Florida and lived on a horse ranch and then back to the suburbs a few years after that. My story is the story of how I was influenced by my horse and what I learned through owning the horse. My horse's name was Scotty, and when I got Scotty, he was my first horse. An Appaloosa mixed with quarter horse, a long mane, and a beautiful brown color anyone could fall in love with. He was very tame. Although we did get him at 3, so my mom was the first person to ride him. He trained, she trained Scotty on how to be ridden and essentially how to be a domesticated horse that essentially had a job to do. Shortly after he was trained, he was given to me, and that was my first horse. I learned a lot of discipline through having Scotty because I was his main caregiver. Granted, I didn't financially take care of those things because I was a kid. I did wash him, feed him, ride him, and take him in and out of the pasture. He taught me to be patient and to listen to him and my surroundings, which is an essential skill when you are working with such a large animal. So I began to show Scotty at different horse shows and learned 2 different styles of riding: Western pleasure and speed. When we rode Western pleasure, it was essential to show lux and luxury in riding, which included a mellow walk and a slowed canter. Additionally, as a kid, I started to see my friends do barrel racing, in which they would go to really fun shows and essentially get an adrenaline rush through racing their horse through barrels, in which was similar to a figure eight. Ultimately, though, what Scotty taught me is that every action has a reaction, and as we continued to train, he learned new skills or became more efficient in maneuvers. However, as we become older, oftentimes we want to change, and after 3 years is when I decided to sell Scotty. I felt comfortable with the choice, but I wanted to be more like other kids my age. After a while, we come to find out that the person who bought Scotty was starving him. It was very difficult to get this information, and we did everything in our power to stop this from happening. As a result, he was sold to the sheriff's department and became a police horse, where his health and what was always made a priority, and his livelihood was extremely important. He also got to go on cool cop adventures.